Welcome, everyone is a HUAWEI P40 Pro Plus, and today I'll show, well, the unboxing along with an overview of the device. So let's pop it open and see what's inside. Now, in the case, nothing really here. In the box, I mean, we get the app guide, which is kind of funny. That's primarily because the phone doesn't have any Play Store. So they're trying to sell you on using their app gallery, which, let's be honest, no one really cares. It's lacking a lot of the key apps that, for instance, I want, and I still can't see there. So it doesn't really interest me anyway. Then we got the phone itself, as you can see. I'm gonna set it to the side. Now the device is already set up, so I don't have to do that. And we got the cardboard, no one really cares. Paperwork, no one really cares about that. Sadly, as you can see, there is no case for the device. It comes in like cost of $1,500, and they didn't bother really giving you anything worth your money. Then we got I guess something worth the money. I have the power brick. This is a 40 watt and it does have some weight to it. It is also fairly chunky. Then we got the cable for it, and it's a USB A to C. So I would say that's actually, I think I prefer to have the USB A to C rather than the two ends being Type C. And then we also have headphones. Now again, they look like just generic earbuds clones of, or earbuds, the old style Apple buds that were on the wire, just with the Type C cable. I don't really expect much from them. Typically for my ears, these don't fit in there, they fall out easily, so that's a negative for me. But yeah, that's basically all there is in the box here. And yeah, set that to the side and get the main part of this, which is the phone itself. And as you can see, there it is, it's set up. So well, obviously the display is fairly nice. It's an AMOLED display with a resolution of 1200 by 2640 at a size of 6.58 inches, and when it comes down to more specific details about it, it's a 441 pixels per inch, so fairly dense display, something that you'd probably expect from a flagship. And also the screen to body ratio is, well, really nice. It's a 91.6% screen to body ratio, which it is a huge one in this case. As you can see, it does take almost the entire display apart from the hole punched camera up on the top, and that's about it. Honestly, there's barely any bezel visible, maybe just in the corners for some reason, and they kind of like stick out in the corners there. But I assume that is more for the rigidity of the device itself. And also, obviously the display has HDR10 certification and comes with a measly 90 Hz refresh rate. Now that is my first gripe with this. For the price that this phone comes in, and when it was released, I expect 120, not 90. I consider that to be like the sweet spot. Anything above is, well, in my opinion, too much. For instance, like the ROG phone trying to push to 144, I think it is, which I don't see a purpose for it. 120 and 144, you're only getting 22 more frames. You're not gonna see that. But when it comes down from 90 to 120, you do get to see that. And honestly, at 90, it's in between. It does look smoother than 60, obviously, but it's not as smooth as, for instance, I'm used to seeing on other devices like Samsung's, for instance, that have most recently released the the Galaxy S20s, I think it was, which at least the S20, I think Plus or whatever, they came with 120 Hertz, or even the lower one too. Which is in my opinion, significant boost over this display in this case. Now, Moving on to something that I guess Huawei always strives to do, is having the best camera in the business. And well, obviously they probably did it here too. I'm not a photographer, so I can't really put it like to a super good test, but obviously the specification will speak for themselves. And just to put that out there, the main shooter on the back, let me just unlock it. Main shooter in the back is a 50 megapixel wide sensor. Then you have an 8 megapixel periscope, which is this little thing that kind of looks like it's so deep in the phone that it should come out from the other side, but that's just because of the mirror. It's more to the side and just kind of reflecting. And then you have also an 8 megapixel telephoto lens and a 40 megapixel ultra wide. So all that, you can shoot footage at 4K 30 60 obviously. Then 1080p shoots again at 30 and 60 with a slow motion of 960, so that's nice. And you can also drop it even lower to 720 and shoot slow motion at 7680 frames, so that is well, quite good. Let's put it that way. But I assume, and let me just quickly check it, that the slow motion in here is, as always, most likely gonna be limited to a couple seconds. So let's see that. So we got a video. Not sure if it's in slow-mo or something. Let me quickly look at it. There we go, slow-mo. Cool. We get how it works. So we can. So it is right now, I guess, at the 9,000 or 7,000 frames. It just shows more in how many times slower it is instead of frames. So as you can see, it's 256. So let's just quickly move this out of the way. It kind of looks pixelated. I don't know if that's because I'm too close to the screen itself. But let's just move my hand around and see how that looks like once it stops processing it. So oh yeah, that is slow. That is less than a second that it was recording, and it recorded about 33 seconds of it. And it is better than I expected, honestly, in terms of the quality of it. I did encounter before phones that were doing slow motion at higher rates that they would fail to capture what is behind. It would come, well, it would basically artifact in the back. So for instance, the text was kind of like shifting and moving when the hand was moving over it, which, as you can see, there was no such a thing here. Now obviously, as you also seen, it only recorded for a second, so let's drop it to, that is 240 frames. Let's see if that will be recording permanently. And yep, it looks like it's recording permanently here, based on the timer. That is butter smooth. Okay, oh, there it is. So we have the sliders right here, where it records basically the footage, and you can slow it down then. As you can see, this is, I believe, fully slow motion right now. And that looks really nice. Now I also believe that if we go a little bit higher, and this will go away, like 32, that's 900 and something frames. And yep, it's just a second. So we can only record steady or constant slow motion at only 240 frames, and anything above that is just limited to 1 second. Now this is again something that Samsung is better at, permanent recording of slow motion at higher frame rates. For some reason Huawei is still sticking with the 1 second only. So yeah, now that we got the back camera out of the way, we also have a front-facing cameras, or well, two of them in a way, and that is also something that kind of blows out of the water most other phones. It's a 32 megapixel wide sensor on the front as a selfie camera, with also an IR time of flight 3D sensor. That is to sense depth and just stuff like that. And again, camera can shoot 4K 30 and 60 from the front. I don't really see many phones that can do 1080p at 60, and furthermore, and most certainly I haven't seen, I don't think, any phone that did 4K at 60 frames on the selfie. So that is something that is right now probably the best on the market in terms of it. I might be incorrect, I just might not have encountered it, or well, not maybe remembered it, but it does shoot really well. I already tried it, and it's basically as good as the back when it comes down to quality. It also has the option for beautification, which now I can quickly open it up. As you can see, if I were to capture just a photo, for instance, right now, we have also option for mirror reflect, which is for instance, if you raise one hand, if it's capturing as the phone sees you, or as you would see yourself in a mirror, for instance. So you can choose which one you want. For me, this would probably be better. And from here, you can see that even the detail in the hair is still really well kept. So really nice. So yeah, obviously a good camera. Now moving on, the phone comes only with 8 GB of RAM, which again, for the price tag, I feel like it's a little bit weak. I don't think you need more, but then I kind of want to feel like I'm paying for something, and obviously I don't really feel like the cameras cost that much, and this is primarily the majority of this device that is worth anything, the cameras. I can't say that there's anything else worth that kind of money, but like I said, even the cameras, I wouldn't price them at over $1,000, which this approaches more around like $1,500. So yeah, that I feel like this is too much. And also it comes with the Kirin 990 and 5G. I guess the 5G might be a little bit part of the price, but again, not that much. Battery 4200, nothing really special here. Fairly okay battery size, nothing extraordinary here. The charging, like I said, I think before, is a 40 watt fast charger, so it should charge the device really quickly. And also, it does something that I wasn't expecting. It has a reversed wireless charging at 27 watts. So this will be really, this is a really nice reverse wireless charging, which will also mean that, the device has a wireless charging. Now, when it comes down to the build quality, obviously you have a glass front, and then you have also ceramic back, as you can see. So this white stuff is ceramic. And for some reason, I should mention, I'm getting these specifications from GSM Arena, and I believe the last one, which is the frame, is most certainly not ceramic. As you can clearly see that this is not ceramic frame, so that is incorrect. I would assume, I might be wrong somehow, but I can see metal on the side, not ceramic. So yeah. And anything else, the device comes with a 256 or 512 gigabyte storage versions with a UFS 3.0, so just a nice, really fast blazing storage. And again, it's Huawei, so when it comes down to their expendable storage, they keep sticking with something that isn't worth the money, which is their Nano Memory. Now, it is the size of a SIM card, the smallest one, but honestly, I usually, in my case, my kind of cheap currency, I pay 1 PLN per gigabyte. When it comes down to their storage, I need to pay twice as much. Now, this is not an optimal solution, I would say. If you're planning to expand the storage, I don't see a reason to pay double the price, because it's smaller by a couple millimeters. I don't care that much. And yeah, apart from that, I guess that would conclude the overview of the device itself. Now, when it comes down to it, like I said, maybe I should say that personally I'm not a fan of this device. I myself use a fairly beat up Mate 20 Pro still, which is like 2 years or more even after the release of the first one, or the one that I'm using. And I don't honestly see any reason to upgrade to this one. The photos that I take are, well, decent. They're still respectable compared to all the other flagships. I might not have 100 times zoom, but then I'm not planning to look into someone's window from a mile away, so I don't really care for that. And the thing that I do have that this phone doesn't have is a Play Store. Now, as you've already seen, they give you this nifty little thing for your app gallery, but obviously the app gallery won't have every app that is available, which makes this app, in my book, kind of useless, and this phone on top of it. Now, you could do some annoying trickery, like for instance downloading apps on your old device and then moving them over to this one after you download them using a Play Store on a device that has a Play Store. Then yeah, you can do that. You could download majority of the apps like Google Maps and Facebooks and all that stuff that, for instance, you can't find on here. But at the end of the day, it's just a hassle that you don't really need to go through with different devices, and I don't see a reason why I should go with this one, especially for the money that you pay for it. So, concluding this and reaching to the end, in my book, personally, I don't feel like this device is worth the purchase. There are different devices that will offer you more. They might not have the best cameras as this one, which I would assume this is probably one of the best cameras at the moment. Probably still better than Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. At least I feel like it is better. I haven't really put them side to side to the test, so I can't really tell you if that is the case. But I assume you can probably find people that have done it. I just don't have access to both of those devices at the same time, so wasn't able to do that. But apart from the cameras, anything else on this device is not worth the money. If we just drop down a little bit lower in the camera quality, we can find devices that are 1/3 of the price lower, basically priced around $1,000, not $1,500, and they have Play Store. I cannot stress that enough. They have Play Store, probably the most important part of a Android device. So yeah, concluding it, personally, I don't see the value in this device. Someone might. Cameras are probably a really great value, but I just don't see it. And if you don't see the value in the camera to be priced that high, then I assume you're probably in the same boat of not considering this device to be too expensive and probably thinking about other alternatives. Now, if you're looking for something that can shoot really well, also have one of the most mind-blowing selfie cameras, then this device is probably for you. But other than that, this would conclude the overview of the device. It's a nice looking device, feels premium, a bit overpriced, and it looks really nice, has a really good display, and yeah, other than that, it runs Android 10 as you would expect it, with the EMUI 11.1 I think, or 10.1. I think it's 10.1. I can quickly check it. So you get a lot of the Android specific features that you are most likely used to. Let's see, is there? It looks like there. Oh no, there it is. 10.1. So there we go. So yeah, you get basically all the typical Android stuff that you do with every other Android, with the slight skin over it of the EMUI. So yeah. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.